Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Tuesday edition of Source 16 News. I'm Eddie Owen. Thanks for joining us. Some Western Kentucky farmers have been granted disaster assistance due to severe weather conditions that occurred in April. Governor Steve Beshear today announced that U.S. Agriculture Secretary Tom Vilsack has granted his request for disaster assistance for farm families in 29 counties. After a review of loss assessment reports and other submitted information, the USDA determined that there were sufficient production losses to warrant a secretarial natural disaster declaration for 11 counties, including Hopkins and Ohio counties in our viewing area. As a result of this designation, 18 contiguous counties are eligible for assistance. Those counties include Caldwell, Christian, Lyon, Marshall, and Todd in our viewing area. Farmers in eligible counties have until February 4th, 2012 to apply for emergency loan assistance. Meanwhile, some local cities and counties will receive a portion of $3.5 million in solid waste and household hazardous waste grants, announced today by Governor Beshear. 59 recycling and 14 household hazardous waste grants were awarded to expand recycling, reduce the amount of solid waste going into landfills, and sustain the environmental management of household hazardous waste, which includes electronic scrap and mercury from homes throughout Kentucky. Grant receipts, along with the grant amounts that require a 25% local match, are as follows. City of Calvert City was awarded a recycling grant for over $16,000. City of Dawson Springs will receive over $21,000. City of Hartford and Ohio County Recycling was awarded over $72,000. The City of Madisonville will get over $26,000. Marshall County Recycling will receive over $33,000. Pennyrile Regional Recycling Corporation was awarded over $70,000. And Pennyrile Solid Waste Management Authority was awarded a recycling grant for over $37,000. Meanwhile, the following recipients were awarded household hazardous waste grants. The City of Madisonville and Hopkins County, $30,000. City of Murray, $31,000. And Pennyrile Solid Waste Management Authority, a $21,500 grant. The grant awards reflect an increase of 21 recycling grants and 4 household waste grants awarded for the previous grant cycle. Christian County Fiscal Court this morning unanimously approved the second reading of their $24.7 million budget for fiscal year 2011-12. Christian County Judge Executive Steve Tribble summarizes the upcoming budget.
Under the general fund, under the category for general government, we have appropriation of $2,732,287. Under protections of persons and property, $643,275. Under general health and sanitation, $540,376. Under social services, $102,176. Under recreation and culture, $292,794. Under airports, $28,000. Under debt service, $182,074. Under capital projects, $2,120,549. Under administration, $2,727,541. Total general fund appropriation, $9,369,072.
In other action, magistrates approved a Christian County fair housing policy, a grievance procedure for complaints relating to suspected or alleged discrimination of handicapped individuals, and an affirmative action plan for the county. In addition, Fiscal Court approved a contract with the Emergency Operations and Communication Center.
The plan would be for the ECC board to contract with the City of Hopkinsville to provide all personnel or staffing for the operation. And that was, I can't remember exactly, it sounded like it was $12,000–$14,000 automatic savings a year, and maybe a little more than that in terms of health insurance costs by doing that. And simply means that much like the ambulance employees, the dispatchers and the personnel at the communication center will become city employees.
The next fiscal court meeting is scheduled for Tuesday morning, June 28th at 8:30. Well, hundreds of state and local dignitaries attended last night's 42nd annual Pennyrile Area Development District Dinner. During the event, PAD officials recognized board and staff members with service awards for their years of commitment. And breaking with tradition, officials presented the 2011 W.W. Bill Bryan Memorial Award to Fort Campbell. Brigadier General Warren Phipps accepted the award on behalf of the 101st Airborne Division.
I'd like to personally thank on behalf of General Campbell, Command Sergeant Major Schroeder, the Streaming Eagles, the soldiers, the civilians, the families of the 101st and all of Fort Campbell for graciously presenting us this gift. I humbly accept this on behalf of all of them. I also thank you for the great support that you provided to Fort Campbell through all the years. I personally and my family has been a benefactor of your hospitality. And I ask that you continue, just as you have throughout our deployment. We have thoughts and prayers of those that are deployed. We still have 3 brigades here currently today.
The dinner was held at the James E. Bruce Convention Center and was sponsored by Planters Bank. PAD serves the counties of Caldwell, Christian, Crittenden, Hopkins, Livingston, Muhlenberg, Todd, and Trigg. A trial date has been set for a Hopkinsville insurance agent charged with 13 counts of voyeurism. 48-year-old Robert Keach of Trigg County appeared in Christian County District Court yesterday, where Judge Arnold Lynch scheduled his trial for October 11th and 12th. In addition, Judge Lynch continued his pretrial conference until October 3rd. The 48-year-old was arrested on February 18th, 2010 for allegedly hiding a video camera inside a restroom at his Allstate insurance business in Hopkinsville. Police reportedly found a hidden camera inside a smoke detector installed on a bathroom wall that was connected to a recording device. He remains out of jail after posting $15,000 bond. A West Kentucky prison is hosting a graduation ceremony tomorrow for 12 rescue dogs that were trained to help wounded Fort Campbell soldiers. The Associated Press reports the dogs will be heading to Fort Campbell to be paired up with wounded soldiers. Since 2004, Green River Correctional Complex in Central City has operated a dog rescue program, but recently decided to work with the Army to provide therapeutic dogs for wounded soldiers. Now, once the dogs are at Fort Campbell, they'll begin specialized training to meet each soldier's needs. An Owensboro man has been arrested for allegedly sexually abusing an underage female in Ohio County over 3 years ago. On Monday, Kentucky State Police charged 37-year-old Terry Melcher with 10 counts of first-degree sexual abuse after a female victim, who was underage at the time, told detectives she was sexually abused by him 3 years ago between January 2008 and June 2008. Melcher was taken into custody and lodged in the Ohio County Detention Center. He was released from jail on his own recognizance, per the judge, on conditions that he has no contact with the alleged victim or complaining witnesses. A Callaway County man has been charged with growing marijuana and other offenses after police discovered over 40 pot plants at his residence while investigating a complaint. Murray Police Department spokeswoman Sergeant Tracy Googe told Source16 today the 23-year-old Landon Slauson of College Farm Road, Murray, was taken into custody on Friday night. According to police, Slauson was arrested after officers followed up on a call that he was inside a residence Friday evening waving around a loaded gun, which officers later determined was stolen. Slauson was lodged in the Callaway County Jail for carrying a concealed deadly weapon, resisting arrest, and receiving stolen property, a firearm. After obtaining a search warrant, police went to Slauson's College Farm Road apartment Saturday and found 41 marijuana plants, some equipment, and drug paraphernalia. So he was also charged with cultivation of marijuana, 5 or more plants, and 3 counts of wanton endangerment offenses. In a speech on the Senate floor earlier today, U.S. Senate Republican leader Mitch McConnell said the 2 foreign fighters recently arrested in Bowling Green, who admitted to conducting attacks against U.S. soldiers and Marines in Iraq, should be sent to a secure detention facility at Guantanamo Bay, rather than being tried in federal courtroom in Kentucky.
Sending them to Gitmo is the only way we can prevent Kentuckians from having to cover the cost and having to deal with the disturbance and disruptions that would come with a civilian trial. And sending them to Gitmo is the best way to ensure that they get what they deserve. And so today I'm calling on the administration to change course Get these men out of Kentucky. Send them to Guantanamo where they belong. Get these terrorists out of the civilian system. Get them out of our backyards.
30-year-old Wad Al-Wan and 23-year-old Mohamed Hamadi were both arrested and indicted recently by a federal grand jury on 23 counts of federal terrorism charges. And over the course of 8 years, Acting Assistant Attorney General for National Security Todd Hennon says the suspects are accused of supporting efforts to kill U.S. troops overseas by constructing and placing improvised explosive devices in Iraq and by sending money and weapons from the United States to insurgents in Iraq. If convicted of all the charges, the Iraqi nationals face life in prison. Well, Hopkinsville police are investigating a hit-and-run accident that occurred Monday night involving two pedestrians. Police say 25-year-old Marcus Level and 16-year-old Kiara Jackson were walking on the westbound roadway of Durrett Avenue when they were hit by an unknown person driving a white Cadillac. The victims told police they heard the vehicle approaching because of loud music and moved away from the roadway, but were still hit by the Cadillac. Witnesses told police the driver of the Cadillac continued westbound on Durrett Avenue without stopping. Level and Jackson were transported by ambulance to Jenny Stewart Medical Center. Police are urging anyone with information about this hit-and-run collision to contact the Hopkinsville Police Department at 270-890-1500. The Montgomery County, Tennessee grand jury will now get the case of a convicted sex offender who is facing new charges of indecent exposure. According to Montgomery County Sheriff's Office investigator Jeff Morlock, Mario Frederick was arrested for indecent exposure incidents that occurred over the Memorial Day weekend at a local apartment complex on Ashland City Road, and after he fled on foot from police. Authorities say Frederick is a registered sex offender currently on both state and federal probation. He was previously convicted on 5 offenses of indecent exposure as the result of charges from the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office, Austin Peay State University Police Department, and U.S. Army Military Police investigation on Fort Campbell. Those are from incidents in 2009 and 2010.